Welcome to the Sewing Machine Repair Guide. Today we have a machine that belongs to Miss Kay. She's a big fan of the channel and hopefully she'll enjoy watching this video as well. The hand wheel is stuck, so the machine doesn't move. Oh, we got a little bit of movement. So we're going to get right into the teardown. So while we're doing teardown, I'll just talk a little bit about this machine. So the Janome 412, the Janome 4120 QDC was first released around 2012. It's a computerized quilting and sewing machine designed for versatility, weighing about 14.3 pounds, making it portable yet sturdy for home use, classes, or travel. And I think we'll find out here that this machine has a good metal frame on it. These were originally priced around $600 to $700. The MSRP was $1,200. Wow. And became popular for balancing affordability with advanced features. While this model is discontinued, there are updated variants like the 4120 QDC-G introduced around 2023 that continued the line with the trendy color options like grapevine. This is often called a workhorse by users for handling everything from everyday garments to intricate quilting, and many owners report it lasting over a decade with proper maintenance. Well, I would say that we are over a decade. Let's see if we can get it back going. Key user-friendly innovations included a full-length LCD screen with touch panel navigation for easy stitch selection and editing, mirror stitching to flip patterns for symmetry, and stitch pattern memory that saves up to 50 custom combinations. Alright, I didn't have to take this cross member off. In fact, I'm going to put it back on. You only really have to take off these two screws, so I didn't even have to take off this upper metal rail. Okay, we got the machine all torn down. We got it all blown out and cleaned out, so we've cleaned out all the dust and everything with the air. And now I want to put on our Tri-Flow. So this is a penetrating oil. I don't use this all the time for sewing machines, but when we have a problem like this where we are stuck, we want to make sure we get a good penetrating oil in there. The drawbacks of Tri-Flow are it's very toxic, so you don't want to get it on your skin. And then it's also, it's got a smell to it and a color to it, so if it drips on your clothing, it'll stain it or your projects. So I don't typically use it for sewing machines. I know a lot of people like to use it, and that's fine if they want to use it, but I personally just use regular mineral oil based, like the clear stuff you get at Walmart or your local store, craft store. That's just all I use on most of my machines because it won't stain and it's kind of made for them. And oh, all right, so we're gonna let this soak in while we look at a few other things on this machine. Something I just noticed, hence the oh, is, now if you can see it, and I don't know if you can or not, there's a whole bunch of thread in here wrapped around. Now it's easier to get that thread out when this thing turns on its own. The other thing, yeah, okay, so let's see, can I get some of it out? If I can get it out, I'll get it out. If not, we're gonna wait until we free up the machine to get it out. But it could be part of the reason that the machine is stuck, depending on how entrained this thread is in that joint there. Now what I would like to do is I'd like to take the motor belt off to see if it's maybe the motor that's stuck. So we'll take this belt off and we'll see if that changes anything here. Alright, so the motor spins freely, handwheel does not. So our problem is not the motor. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rock this back and forth, and I'm going to look while I'm doing that to see if we've got anything binding up and see what moves. Okay, we're already moving a little bit more. So we're just going to rock it back and forth. I think the Tri-Flow is already doing its job. It's penetrating oil, and yeah, it's penetrating right in there. Okay, so now that it turns a little bit, I'm going to get the rest of this thread out of here. And we'll come back once I get that done. Sometimes you just got to take it apart to get in there. So I'm taking this little arm apart to get all this thread out of here. Actually, what I'm going to do is just loosen that and not completely remove it. And pry just a tiny bit. Pry. There we go. Okay. And now I should be able to grab some of this thread. And now I just pick a piece of thread, I pull on it, and I turn it backwards. Turn the hand wheel backwards to try and unwind whatever got wound up in there. Okay, and then before I screw this back together, because I think I've gotten all the thread out of there. Oh, wait. Put a little drop of oil in there, and then we'll tighten it up. That is nice. So there's our amount of thread that we pulled out from those linkages up there above the needle, and now the machine turns a lot easier. I did have to loosen that screw a little bit, and it's righty loosey, righty loosey, lefty tighty. To get that screw out of there just a little bit, I was able to move the little piece over and then pull out some thread. So there's what we had stuck in there. And between that and then there's no evidence of any oil in this machine at all. So it's the penetrating oil in all four of the bushings was good. So now we're going to put regular sewing machine oil in there, and this machine's ready to go back together and see how it works. Alright, before I put it all together, I'm realizing we got a lot of buildup down here as well, so we're going to clean that out. So when I'm cleaning out these gear teeth, what I'll do is I'll take one of these cotton swabs, and I will just cut off the end to give it a little bit of a sharper tip, and then that'll go in between those gear teeth and clean out that dust, bring it right out. Because there was grease on here, and the grease just holds all this dust in there. Yeah, not too bad for the hook gear. Do you see how I'm doing this? Like, they don't give you any room on these wires. This is not easy. The good thing is there's only like 5 billion connectors, no big deal. Janome, I was singing your praises earlier, but I mean, seriously. Okay. We just got all of our connections in, I think. So let's turn it on and make sure all the stuff works before we go any further with screws or putting it back together. Because if one of those connections came off, we're done for. Done for. Right. Alright, as of right now, I'll say everything works. Looks pretty good. We'll do some more testing later. Let's keep going with putting it back together. So I noticed our bobbin case has a little couple of needle strikes on it, so we're going to get a new one. And you know my favorite place to get parts like this? Sewing parts online. So I like to use sewing parts online because there's a couple times where I've had to make a phone call to find out about parts, And when you call sewing parts online, you get a human that answers, and that human knows what they're talking about as far as the parts go. So it's somebody in the United States who can speak my language and understands what I'm talking about when I'm ordering parts for sewing machines. So that's why I like to use them, and I also have an affiliate relationship with them because I like them and I use them. So I figured I would share that with you. If you use the affiliate link below, you help out the channel because we get a portion of the sale, and it doesn't cost you any extra to do that. So when I search for this machine, what I find is, look, you can buy the new version of this machine. Rubber cushion for the feet, they got you covered. You need the little thread guide unit thing on top of the machine, they got you covered. Little screws that you need, so they've got a lot of parts for this machine. Look at that, a whole bobbin winder assembly. This is the whole stitch regulator unit, so the whole power supply unit right there you can get from them. So a lot of parts available for this machine. So our needle plate has some needle strikes here as well, so we're going to sand that down a little bit. You could get a new needle plate at Sewing Parts Online, but right now we're just going to repair this one. It's not too bad. Alright, we got Miss K's machine all threaded up. We're going to try it out, see what we get. That is a beautiful stitch. Wonderful machine here. Very smooth machine. Janomes are known for being very smooth. Next we're going to try maximum width and then a short length stitch. Zigzag stitch. See how our timing is. So if we had problems with timing, what you would end up with is only the left or the right stitch catching the bottom thread. So we're looking pretty good. So that's about 60% of your bottom thread showing. It is a little tight overall, but that's what you get when you do a stitch this wide. So this stitch tells me that our feeding is looking good. We're very consistent on that. And that looks pretty good. I'm very happy with this machine. I think Miss K is also going to be very happy with this machine, but we're not done yet. Alright, I want you to take a look at this because I don't think the other cameras pick it up. This machine is not the cleanest machine out there. So what I want to do is make this machine look like it did back in 2012. I want it to look brand new again. So it's not a terribly nasty machine. I mean, it's been around for a long time. Step number one for a machine like this: my industrial sprayer full of, there it is, my industrial sprayer full of crud cutter. That just will eat through all that nasty grime and grit that's on there, and we're just gonna wipe it down. If you have problems with a smoker's machine, this stuff also works for that. This one's not, at least not that I smell. So we used our crud cutter on the machine and we got it all cleaned up. All the dirt has been taken off this machine and now it's got a bare plastic finish. And we want to make sure that this machine lasts another 13 years. So we are going to protect it with this 303 protectant. This is what I use on every machine that comes through my shop. This stuff, aerospace protectant, I don't know. But what I do know is that this stuff makes this plastic feel like brand new. I mean, it gives it a shine. It gives a softer feeling. It's hard to explain, but it gives it a UV protectant. So I don't know if this modern plastic will ever yellow, but it's supposed to help against that. So here we go. Yeah, that protectant is just a wipe on, wipe off, you're good to go type of protectant. And now we have the after. Look how shiny that is and clean compared to where it was before. This machine is ready to go another 13 years. If you'd like to see me go in a little bit more depth into why I like Janome as a sewing machine company, check out this video where we go in and I even show you about the different types of bushings that they use, which are so much better than the Singers and the Brothers in the world. Alright, thanks for watching.